Hey guys, today we're going to be doing our presentation on what questions we have for our STEM major or career. My team members are Marcus, Daniel, and Somi. For this presentation, we wanted to come up with a question that would be relevant across all of our majors, which led us to the question, what are the real world applications for our majors? And we believe question is very important to understand and answer so that we are prepared when we actually enter the workforce and our future careers.
Hey guys, my name is Marcus Joseph, and I will be presenting my two slides on aerospace engineering. A little background information on why I chose to major in aerospace engineering. Ever since I was young, I fell in love with seeing rockets fly, how airplanes worked in the sky, and all that stuff. So that's kind of what pushed me to be an aerospace engineer. And now it's just because I want to be a part of space exploration in the future. Very soon we're going to be going on Mars, and I'm very excited for that, and I really want to be a part of that. So that's why I decided that I want to major in aerospace engineering. The question I have on my slide here is, what does an aerospace engineer do? So I'm just going to read this off the start. Aerospace engineers evaluate designs to see that the products meet engineering principles. Aerospace engineers design primarily aircraft, spacecraft, satellites, and missiles. In addition, they create and test prototypes to make sure that they function according to design. So, to make it in shorter terms, aerospace engineers focus on things that fly in our atmosphere and above our atmosphere. So they work on jets, planes, little like satellites, rockets, you name it, they work on it. Uh, Not only those, but they also work on the smaller parts like the jet engines and planes and rockets, and also the propellant systems for sending things into space. So, what problems do aerospace engineers solve? Well, aerospace engineers are always solving, a lot of complex problems. For one, they trying to solve how to get to Mars in a shorter time distance. Because right now it does take a little too long for our comfort to get to Mars, about 8 9 months. So, aerospace engineers are working to create a propellant system that can shorten that time greatly. Uh, Other things like flying cars. A lot of people thought we would have flying cars now, but we don't. But flying cars are being tested now and being not produced, but slowly starting to come out a little bit. But soon the goal is that flying cars will become the future. So yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Somi, and I'm an industrial engineering major. I chose engineering because I've always had a passion for STEM. I've always loved math, science, technology, all of that, everything that makes up STEM. And I chose industrial engineering specifically because it's one of the broader fields of engineering. It doesn't narrow too deep into one specific field, one specific type of engineering. So, what is industrial engineering? Well, industrial engineers apply the components of STEM, math, science, technology, engineering methods to complex systems, integration, and operations. And because these systems are large, complex, industrial engineers, that's why they need a broad spectrum of knowledge to be able to take components from different aspects of engineering and STEM to be able to improve systems the way that these systematic processes work. So that's pretty much the end goal for industrial engineers to improve efficiency of systems and operations. So, what problems do industrial engineers solve? Well, one problem is re-engineering healthcare delivery. Healthcare is a big issue right now in our world today, and right now, especially because of COVID, a lot of things have gotten messed up with the healthcare system. And one thing industrial engineers are trying to do is to improve the efficiency of how medications are being delivered to people and the medications themselves, more on the biological side of that, biomedicine side of that. So they're trying to figure out how we can improve the efficiency of transporting all these goods and everything, creating a technology oriented culture with an emphasis on education, along with engineering a sustainable society by 2100. These are two huge issues that engineers as a whole are trying to solve, but industrial engineers specifically, because they take a broad spectrum of knowledge and they're trying to apply all these different aspects to create a sustainable society along with environmental engineers. Developing better decision making tools in a dynamic world, mitigating and responding to disasters, and infrastructure construction. A lot of these also go together as well, along with point of use manufacture. All of these points come together. Industrial engineers are just overall trying to improve the efficiency and make the world safer and improve the overall functions of all these issues.
So, like I said, my name's Noah. A little bit about myself. I'm a computer science major. I kind of got into the field because I'd always, like, growing up, I liked problem solving and I liked figuring out how things worked, which kind of led me to get into computers and understanding, like, the hardware and software aspects, and I really liked that. So I decided to major in computer science. Now, just a little background about computer science. When I say that, a lot of people are going to think about coding and stuff like that. However, that's really only one aspect of the field. And computer scientists will design, analyze algorithms to solve complex problems, and they study performance of computers with their hardware and software. And computer science in general is just a very large field. I have like more than 15 different like disciplines you could go into, and I have them listed here down below. But Dan and I are both computer science majors, so he's going to go over the problems that computer science majors address and some of the problems we'll solve.
How's it going? My name is Daniel Moshevitis. I'm a computer science major as well. I've always kind of had a knack for computers, and I really like the way that you can break down problems and solve things in efficient ways. It's always been kind of my natural way of thinking, so it applies really well to this field of study. And I've been looking into the types of problems that my specific field of study solves in the real world, because I'm looking forward to one day working and applying my skills to a career in some field that it applies to. And the 5 biggest things that I came up with were: 1, automation and simplification of previously difficult tasks, where a lot of manual labor went in, can be automated, and a lot of machine learning comes into play. My example of that was like robotics in car factories, where a task that would take handheld tools and people a very long time can be done much faster now. Rapid expansion in the ways we communicate. Obviously, things like the cell phone is a big one, but as well like social media and other forms of communication where information can be shared and saved at a way that has never previously been seen. Protecting sensitive information. With the rise of a lot of more like digital work, the field of cybersecurity has become really important, and that's something that I think is on the rise in the near future. An example would be things like facial ID recognition software and just general cybersecurity on a more physical level that can be applied to corporate positions and things like that. Accessing and storing information, things like Google or the cloud, where very large amounts of information can be accessed, sorted through, and stored digitally, is something that is relatively new and has revolutionized the way that we can learn and build our information. And then gathering and interpreting very large data sets is a really common practice for the field of computer science. My kind of first ideas and examples of this would be things like medical studies, drug-related studies, especially with like COVID-19 and their vaccination studies, very large sets of data being sorted into ways that you can view and interpret more efficiently, as well as things like hospitals with patient information, just really large data sets that encompass many different things that you can sort into ways that make it much easier to deal with. In summary, working within a STEM major helps to observe and solve problems within society. STEM-related work is the driving force behind scientific progress within society itself, whether it be working to create complex algorithms to streamline important processes or designing the next skyscrapers of major cities. STEM work is always aimed towards building off the past and aiming towards the future.